Another Allendale favorite, Darlene Lacey began collecting candy wrappers in the 1970s. The goal of her collection was to create the Candy Wrapper Museum, where wrappers could be enjoyed as art, nostalgia, and humor. Over the decades, thousands of pieces were obtained for the museum, and it is now one of the most complete and significant collections of American candy. It has drawn hundreds of thousands of visitors to its website and has been featured in such media as the Food Network's Unwrapped and Smithsonian Magazine. Earlier this year, Darlene's first book was published, Classic Candy, America's Favorite Sweets, 1950 to 1980, which explores the history, urban legends, and memorable advertising during this golden age of American candy. The book's available. I understand that Darlene has a few copies here. She would be glad to sign for you. You can't beat the cover price, $10. We also have a copy available for checkout in this branch, so that's available for you to check out this evening as well. Darlene writes regularly about candy and culture for the online publication, The Los Angeles Beat. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a sugar rush. Here's Darlene Lacey.
I have this dream that someday I'll be able to know my material well enough not to read my glasses and peer at it, but that dream is not realized yet. Christmas and candy just go together. There are sugar plums, lollipops, peppermints, sticky ribbon candy, and giant light-up candy canes adorning our front lawns. And where there is Christmas candy, that ambassador of good cheer, Santa Claus, cannot be far away. When you consider how quickly a star's public image can take a bad turn, it only makes sense that maintaining Santa's image over the decades has been, well, a struggle, to say the least. Tonight, we examine this rocky relationship. We begin with the Santa that we all know and love, at the top of his game in a 1952 Brock's Candy ad. This is the ideal Santa that we all picture in our minds, ready to spring a sparkling snowfall of candy on good boys and girls, probably not you. Sorry, I take it back. Well, it's one thing to paint a glorious Santa, but apparently it's much more of a challenge to sculpt a plastic Santa. His image has gone awry more often than not in the hands of sincere but lesser craftsmen. Therefore, the gamut of plastic Santas encompasses the good, the bad, and the peculiar. All right, I understand that Santa's a happy guy, but why did the E. Rosen Candy Company have to immortalize him on the one night that he drank way too much eggnog at the annual Christmas party? Couldn't they have rescheduled this for the next morning? Give the poor guy a break.
Oh.
And what about that fateful night when Mommy was kissing Santa Claus? We all know about it, but did the paparazzi have to catch him rushing out of the house before he even had a chance to compose himself?
That's not right.
Rewind.
Slide, please.
Thank you. Okay, but did the E. Rosen... Oh, no, here we go, sorry. And what about that fateful night when Mommy was kissing Santa Claus? Pretend that the other one didn't happen. We all know about it, but did the paparazzi have to catch him rushing out of the house before he even had a chance to compose himself? Much like the pizza guy, Santa just has to deal with this occupational hazard. This is just not right. And Santa's public image has always reflected the times. So who can blame him for looking just a little grumpy in this Whitman's Candy ad from World War I? Let's face it, the war was a major bummer, and the best that anyone could offer you was munitions of happiness and the cheeriest Christmas possible. Let's just be glad that this Christmas is behind us. I have this very complex multimedia presentation, so you have to forgive me. Now, Santa might be a saint, but he does hang around with those fun-loving elves all year. So it was not Santa's fault that he was caught in this compromising position. Christmas Eve. We've all heard of the Christmas goose, but apparently this little guy had something else in mind.
Yeah.
And although Santa does his best to stay on top of his schedule during the holiday season, it's next to impossible to keep up on all the publicity events. So you have to excuse the times he got his poor, down on his luck Uncle Stinko to be his stand-in for cheap candy containers. I mean, it made sense at the time. You can hear the conversation. Hey, the kids are just going to eat this and throw it away. Who's going to notice? It's not like people are going to be standing around studying this 50 years in the future or something, right? Of course, Santa always has Mrs. Claus to rely on as a public relations backup. But let's face it, she's a perfectly nice person, nothing against her, but she's a bit of a buzzkill and simply lacks the charisma of the man himself. When you reach for Pez, you want a little more pizzazz. Fortunately for us, for every misstep and sad substitution, there's a jolly Santa face right around the corner, delivering to us exactly what we want, along with a big old hunk of bubble gum when we get stressed during the holiday season, and we need a little Christmas right this very minute. So the next time somebody takes a terrible picture of you during this holiday season and you beg them to trash it, remember the plight of poor Santa. Year after year he takes a beating, and he does have a year to recover, but come December, he dusts off his boots, pulls on his suit, and comes dashing out to greet us with a big Whitman sampler, a merry ho-ho-ho, and he is ready to make everything right.